Hi, my name is Chris Holton-Jablonski, and it is my great joy and privilege to serve you as your minister. This is an excerpt from a sermon I preached to you all when I first came just about a year and a half ago. In the spirit of holiday reruns, I wanted to share it because it precisely spoke to what I wanted to tell you right before our New Year's service coming up. I love this quote by the writer David Foster Wallace. He says, "Everything I have ever let go of has claw marks on it." The idea being that he held on with all his might, digging his claws in as the things he had let go of were wrenched away. I pray for myself and all of you more graceful experiences of letting go, slightly less claw marks. When we think our lives should be some particular way, when we hold on to ideas of how life should be, when we grip and grasp and cling, and it turns out that life is different, which it does over and over again, we suffer. When we see that our marriage is over, when we receive the diagnosis, when our father falls in love with a wonderful church, hundreds of wonderful people, and tells the family that we are moving away to another state to start a new middle school, when we are thrust into whole new ways of living, when change comes with 1,000 faces, part of the question is what holds us? This is some of my favorite part of who we are and what we create together. We return to this reminder, to this experience of web and life and love. We hold one another and are held. And one of the most beautiful things about this is that the web and the love are so much bigger than any of us, and we never know the full extent of its power. We can see it, especially now. This is a hard moment we are living in. There is so much loss, so much uncertainty, so much stress. It matters now more than ever. It matters, this beautiful thing we are building together. This circle of love and support, this circle of vision and hope. This is the solidity, this is the strength. We all united, connected, holding one another, somehow refusing to be discouraged, refusing to be shut down and closed off, but rather reaching out to one another, reaching out to the wider world, reaching out and saying that there is another way. We come together into the supportive circles of First Church because we acknowledge that we are not done learning and growing. We come together because there is a call to deeper living, to deeper truth. And because the beautiful thing about Unitarian Universalism, it is an invitation, a continual invitation to deepening and to discovery. The founding of Unitarianism was a claw mark kind of moment. And I like to ground it all the way back into the 15th century when Gutenberg invented the printing press. Because soon after, people could read the Bible for themselves for the first time. And the first readers soon noticed there was no mention of the Trinity, no mention of the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit they had been hearing so much about. And this is important for us here. They started to question these truths which they had held in their hands, these truths that they had been spoon-fed, gift-wrapped by clergy. These truths started to crumble in the heat of their questioning. And so our Unitarian ancestors created new ideas. They dug deep into their experience and their truths, and they made a new way. This is our legacy. It's not just the Bible that we're reading for ourselves, but all truth. All of the wisdom traditions, all of the world religions, all life is our sacred task, and our task is to open, to take in all of the lessons we can, the heartbreak, the times we are pushed to the brink of our coping, the times when we are barely holding on, and the times of clarity, the sweetest, clearest truths which come. Finally saying yes to love which is loving. Finally stepping into our true selves. Feeling at home in our own skin. All this living. This is our sacred text. And this is the gift of our humanist philosophical heritage. Our experience, our direct experience of truth is also sacred text. Is also a source of truth upon which we build. This forge we pour ourselves into. This forge is powerful. A little while ago, I was a blacksmith. In Berkeley, California, there's an artist collective called the Crucible. And there you can take workshops and classes in neon light production and pinball machine repair, welding, painting, woodworking, so many very cool things. And it was there that I learned to blacksmith. There is little which I have done which is as cathartic as holding steel in a forge, watching it heat and turn orange and supple, and then bringing it to the anvil and bringing the hammer down onto it, shaping it with each blow. Every once in a while, a tiny fleck of hot metal flying onto my arm and burning just a little. It was wonderful. And the spiritual life is like this. These times of dissolution, these difficult times we are in, heat us, make us supple and changeable, and our responses to times like this determine who we are and who we will be. So it matters that we tend to these times. It matters that we know that these times will come, that we know that they are here and will continue. It matters that we know in the midst of all this change and all this life that we are held by this love, by this strong and vast love, that we are held by this history, by this long story stretching back through time, whose current chapter we are in the process of writing, that we are held by these truths which we explore, by this path we create, by this self we forge. We are held in this torn and glorious web, healing over and over, growing more strong and more beautiful and more true.